Hello, I'm Mario Anderson, and welcome to In Focus Kentucky, where we take a look at issues that matter to you right here in the Bluegrass State. Each week we talk to the lawmakers, community organizers, and people like you who help shape those policies. On today's episode, we are taking a look at coding opportunities in Kentucky and how those in our state are embracing this unique form of technology. The website techwarm.net defines computer science as the study of both hardware and software design, with several branches including artificial intelligence, software engineering, programming, and computer graphics. And the website also rates computer science as one of the highest paying job opportunities in the world. And joining me now in the studio is Kentucky State Senator and recently re-elected Senate President Robert Stivers, who not only is from Manchester over in Clay County, but he also sees coding and computer science education as a major economic development opportunity for Eastern Kentucky. So thanks so much for joining us here on the program.
Glad to be here this morning.
Absolutely. And Senator Stivers, talk about what is it about coding and just technology in general that that computer science world, what is it that just generates interest from you, but also from your fellow legislators down in Frankfort?
Well, what you see is with coding, it removes a lot of barriers. Where used to in the past you have to have a good road, good telephone system, something like that, which was something that you had to have a physical structure present somewhere. And now with the ability with satellite, broadband, everything related to the technologies that have been developed, you've kind of flattened out the surface. The mountains and the rivers aren't in the way, and you can bring a product that is very good for business and doing business anywhere, including Eastern Kentucky.
And let's talk about that. Your district over in Eastern Kentucky, you represent 7 different counties. And what are you hearing from people in the area about the access to technology, but also just unique fields of schooling opportunities with computer science and coding and things like that?
Well, people understand it, and I'm going to have to be a little generational. The younger generation understands it a lot better than I do. So when I fix my phone, generally my daughters or my son does it for me. But that opportunity, they understand the opportunity, just exactly what I said a few minutes ago, that it just brings so much opportunity. It flattens the mountains, it removes the rivers. Individuals are able to work from their home. They're able to do things that where they may not have to go to a workplace, but maybe once a week. They have the ability to communicate. The school systems, which Charter was involved in some of it in my hometown, but others within your field have been involved in it in other places, Lee County, Beattyville, where coding is now being taught in the middle school levels and then into the high school levels, because it is such an opportunity for employment, and employment where you can stay where you were born and raised and where you want to stay in Eastern Kentucky if you so desire.
And let's talk about that employment aspect. How important is it for rural parts of the state to receive these new investments from companies who are wanting to bring new business to parts of Eastern Kentucky, but all areas of the state? How important is it to be able to attract these businesses to the state?
It's probably one of the larger topics we have discussed over the last 4 or 5 years. There is no question that we want to do it. The question becomes is how you do it. You all have been involved, other entities have been involved. The Kentucky Wired project that has had some problems, admittedly had some problems in implementation, has been something that has been tried to develop in Eastern Kentucky, but it is truly, from that perspective, something that could be altering in the way, I don't want to say life altering, but economically altering to the region, to have that type of, first of all, access, and then 2, education and training on how to use it.
Now, are there any plans at all for the General Assembly to promote the computer science education or additional funding allocated to that at all?
Well, we're always looking at what we need to mandate, and you get some blowback from the school systems that you mandate too many things. But I think pushing anything related to the STEM areas and technology is always going to be an emphasis as we go into future General Assemblies. and we can look at what we have been able to do with the advancement of technologies opportunities.
And as we get closer to the 2019 General Assembly's firing back up in Frankfurt, what are some high priorities for you and other members of the legislature going into the new session?
Well, there's going to be some discussion about how we smooth off some of the rough edges on the tax bill we passed last year. We understand with any type of large initiative, you have to go back and look at it, and once you implement it, change some things. We're always going to be looking at education components because, as we've talked here, that's critical and key. Economic development and recruitment. We're looking at the whole realm of statutes because, as we talk here, we don't have a lot of incentives for intellectual type of industries, for the headquarters of industries to locate in Kentucky. And so we've been more of a manufacturing incentive type of economic development, and we may want to look at a little bit different in the way of technologies. So we're I don't want to say playing around, but we're working with and tinkering with some of the statutes and codes to where this is the direction and the future that we need to be going.
Well, Senator Stivers, we appreciate you making time to join us here on In Focus Kentucky, and we look forward to having you back on the program to talk about coding, other opportunities, but also the work that you're doing down in Frankfurt.
Appreciate it. Anytime.
Absolutely. Now, stay with us on In Focus Kentucky. Next, we'll share how educators in Kentucky are receiving specialized training on how to teach coding and other computer science-related classes. That's next, but your local Weather on the Ones forecast is coming up right after this break.